Grandstand Football.
ABC Grandstand's footy finals.
NRL.
G'day and welcome to Grandstand's online presentation finals flashback. I'm Luke Pentony. As we close in on Sunday's NRL Grand Final, we are continuing our look at season deciders from past years, and today we're going to remember Penrith's meeting with Canberra in 1991. The two sides had met in the Grand Final 12 months earlier, with the Raiders coming out on top, but the defending premiers had it tough in 1991. To finishing the regular season fourth amid a salary cap scandal that saw the club fined over $180,000. Wins over Western Suburbs, Manly and North Sydney saw the Raiders through to meet the minor premiers Panthers, who advanced to the grand final with a tight 16-14 win over the Bears. The Panthers were chasing their first title and the Raiders their third straight. And hosting Grandstand's call of the 1991 Grand Final was Peter Wilkins.
And Alexander puts the ball in motion. The Grand Final for 1991 is underway. Laurie Daly taking the ball for the kickoff and handing it on to Glenn Lazarus for his first touch of the ball, 10 metres out from his line, and a highish tackle from a trio of Panthers on Todd as the Raiders work it out from their own quarter line. They're still inside the quarter line, and Lazarus getting involved in the thick of it to start off with. Walters pinching a few metres from dummy half. He managed to slip the ball away, but good Panther defence in the opening couple of moments, as you would expect, taking Barnhill to the ground. Back now to the kick, and Lazarus, it is, piloting it downfield. It looks to be a beauty. It is. It's found touch. 25 metres out from the Penrith line from Glenn Lazarus, Frank.
I don't know whether that was in the script, but it was very effective anyway. I noticed that Penrith paid a lot of attention to Steve Walters in that early foray, and Steve was feeling the pinch a little bit.
And also to Glenn Lazarus. They really got stuck into all players, and now Big Mark Geyer has been called out. No doubt it's for the high tackle on Glenn Lazarus and also Steve Walters. He was in both of them. And Greg Alexander over there, he's listening to the referee. Bill Harrigan talking to them, tells Mark Guy to be quiet and listen to instructions.
And a pause that the players could, I guess, do without. On the quarter line, Penrith's end of the field, 10 in from touch right side as they defend. It's fed by Alexander. Out the tunnel and in off the blind wing comes Smith, but roping around his neck as the fullback, Gary Belcher, 24 metres out from the Panther line. It's Carter delivering the ball to Van der Voort in the open side left, and he gets up to play. 27 out from the Penrith line. Simmons directing the traffic. To Geyer it goes. He can only stand as the defensive wall of Canberra moves up to take him, led by Coyne and also Todd. Simmons now bursting from dummy half. He makes 8 metres. He's 10 metres from the halfway line. Carter now dummy half. Left side it goes to Alexander. The alternative, though, pass across the open side to Barwick. The kick downfield. Belcher watches it bounce past him towards his own goal line. He picks it up behind the goal line, races back into the field of play. The defence comes at him. He's almost broken through 3 tackles, Belcher. Good run from the former Australian fullback. 10 metres out from his own line. He gets up to play the ball. A long chase it was downfield by Van der Voort, and also Fittler getting into the action. 15 metres out from the Raiders line. Up to play the ball was the Clyde. Bradley Clyde, and now Barnhill with it. He's wrestled backwards. Good defence from the Panthers. They're keeping the Raiders pinned only 18 metres out from their own line. Paul Dunn with a solid tackle. Good defence from Penrith in the early stages, Frank.
Yes, excellent defence, very strong and very meaningful defence too. They're letting Canberra know that they've come to play.
A kick downfield from Laurie Daly. It looked as though it was going to bounce into touch, but then veered back in field. Barwick picks it up, 32 out from his own line. Angles across field left, trying to find the opening. He can't find it. And in the end, he makes only about 8 metres, and he's 8 from the halfway line in centre field. Now running away right and open side is Bentley. He's almost to the halfway line, and a couple of metres to the right of the centre spot. Now to the left side, Paul Clark over the halfway line. He makes it before being met by Clyde and also Coyne. A metre inside Canberra country, right and open side. Simmons delivers to Van der Voort. Van der Voort stands in the tackle, but he's thumped the ground by Lazarus and also Barnhill. Left side it goes now to Geyer. Warming up, he lifts the legs. The right arm's free, but he can't deliver the pass to Mackay on the left flank. He's pulled down 15 in from touch. Left side, 35 out to Alexander. The chip back to the blind side. It looks like it's going to go all the way dead in goal, and it does, and Gary Belcher watches the ball trickle over the dead ball line. No score on the board in the grand final of 1991, and we've had 3.5 minutes of play.
The right idea from Greg Alexander there, but a bit too much weight in the kick. Canberra returned the compliment into defensive stakes, and a few of those Penrith players felt the strength of the Canberra defence.
What's it going to be like at the end of 80 minutes if this is what it's like at 3.5? Certainly there'll be some very, very tired and sore players.
Walters taps the ball and immediately releases to Lazarus, who really has been in the thick of the action in the early couple of moments. Now Todd warming up, straight up the centre. He runs into Carter and also Simmons, and they take him. Now on it goes to Coyne, the 4-try hero from a couple of weeks ago. He's tackled 2 metres short of the halfway line. Again, the Panthers tackling in threes. Now Walters delivers the ball on the inside to Clyde. He's over the halfway line by a couple of metres. Meninga looking around. The Raiders are bunched behind the halfway line. Walters to Meninga, blindside right. He chips and chases Meninga. Lots of space, lots of time for Barwick to take it. Oh, almost hesitation. Mackay was back there. He looked at Barwick. He took the ball. He picked it up, but he can't get outside Martin. He takes him 18 out from his own line. And 10 in from touch left side. Now Alexander goes right side to Barwick. Barwick probing for the opening. He can't find a way through as well. Sunny skies at the football stadium. Penrith trying to work out from their own quarter line. Another good run from the winger Smith coming in off the blind wing. 28 metres out. Simmons goes to Dunn. Dunn shoulders into a tackle. He can't palm off Lazarus, who came again in company with Coyne to take him 12 from the halfway line. Right side, one off the ruck. Geyer standing again and then delivered earthwards by Barnhill. And also Clyde left an open side now to Alexander. He runs, he hesitates, he kicks the ball over the quarter line, rolling past Belcher into the in-goal area. Belcher might pick it up. Carter with a big chase. Can he keep him in the in-goal area? He can! Superb tackle, superb chase. Mark Levy.
Yes, absolutely unbelievable. Steve Carter. Belcher tried to stand him up in the in-goal. He had to let it go. He was trying to let it go dead. He did the right thing. He had to pick it up, tried to get out. He stopped, he went again, but Carter up to the right up to it. He grasped him with a very, very low tackle. A beauty.
The ability that Greg Alexander came to the fore there. He weighted that first kick a little bit too heavily, and he adjusted it on that occasion and came up with the result.
Now the dropout. Fittler watches, it goes into the arms of Walker, and Walker runs up towards the quarter line. He's stopped in centre field. He makes it to the quarter line. A trio of Raiders. Now an opportunity for the Panther side. Simmons on the attack to Clark. Clark bursting through. Almost he's pulled down 12 metres out. 10 to the right of the uprights. A real opportunity for the Panthers for first points, and it's in the arms of Alexander. The inside pass to Guy. The flick on the inside to Fittler. He's held up, tackled. Only 10 out in front of the sticks. They go left side. It goes to Alexander. He looks for the long pass. He goes himself, but he's tackled. The gap closes. 5 metres out. Good tackle, Coyne and Clyde. Left side it goes now. Dunn. Back the open side right to Simmons. Flat footed. Nowhere to go. He goes through a gap. He might score, Simmons. He's almost there. Is he in? He scored. Roycey Simmons has scored a try for the Penrith Panthers, and delirium at the football stadium.
Well, if you'd want anybody to score a try in this grand final, you'd want Royce Simmons to score one. And he did that not through sentimental reason, but through sheer ability. He spun out of a tackle and forced his way over right near adjacent to the post, and Alexander having a good chance here to put them 6 points clear.
Well, it went blindside first of all. Paul Dunn reversed the situation, got it to Roycey Simmons. Roycey Simmons swiveled and beat the fullback Gary Belcher very, very easily. And then Glenn Lazarus came at him and he ran over the top of Glenn Lazarus to go over to score the try. And what a great start for Roycey Simmons' final game.
And the Panthers behind the halfway line now, back there, geeing each other up, giving each other total support as Greg Alexander has the lonely task of trying to boot the 2 points over the crossbar, over the black dot, and trying to make this lead 6-0 in favour of the Panthers. And what a start that would be, but a similar one that Canberra has confronted in all games so far in the semi-final series. We'll get back to that in a moment. Here's Alexander, 10 to the left of the uprights and 18 metres out from goal. Right foot round the corner style. And he's usually very, very casual about it. Now he moves in, 1, 2, 3. He strikes it. It hits the post. He hooked it, but it's gone through. It's gone through. It looked to be coming back, but it ricocheted through the posts, and a lucky one for Alexander. He did hook that one, didn't he, Frank Stanton?
He sure did, and luckily for him, it came off the inside of the post and ricocheted through. But as we've said before, Canberra are used to being in this situation throughout this playoff series, and I don't see any sign of panic in them just yet. Hello.
Well, there's been
Out in the full.
out in the full. It was taken, of course. 1 foot dead and 1 foot alive behind the line. Out in the full from the restart. So a penalty back on halfway mark. Unusual there.
Yes, and Greg Barwick did a great job there. He stretched his both legs out, but he took it 1 foot on the line, 1 foot inside the line, and that is a penalty at the halfway mark. So Penrith with the ascendancy from the start, and now with a penalty. Bad mistake.
Though he could have let it go dead, couldn't he? As Alexander, the kick for touch is a horror. It skews off the side of his boot. He could have let it go, couldn't he, quite easily, Mark?
Well, that's if he was confident that it was going to go out in the full.
Well, now the Panthers with the football and the lead by 6 points to 0. Remember, they were down 12-0 in last year's grand final. They're up 6-0 at the moment. 10 metres inside Canberra country, and Clark with a good run. He looked as though he knocked it on the way down there. He dropped it after being tackled, and Coyne making the tackle. No suggestion that the ball was taken out of his hands, was stolen, and the scrum feed with Canberra, and that mistake now has cost them a little bit of an advantage. The ball to be fed by Ricky Stewart, 15 metres from the halfway line. Clyde watches it go past his left foot. Now Belcher on the inside to Meninga. Meninga barrels into Walker, who'd broken from the scrum, but Walker took Meninga in a good one-on-one tackle. Geyer in over the top as well. Right side to Barnhill, down the blind. A couple of highest charges going in from Geyer and also Vandervoort. Now on to Todd, one off the ruck from the Walters pass. He's over the halfway line by a metre. Dummy half Walters again. Here's Clyde. Clyde steaming down the centre. Makes 15 metres. Good run, Bradley Clyde. Canberra now, 35 metres out in centre field. Right and open side, it goes to Stewart. Quick hands from Daly to Meninga. He's fumbled. He's knocked it back over the shoulder into the arms of Daly. Daly, the gridiron pass out to the winger Martin. Close to touch. He stumbles back in field. 32 metres out from the Penrith line. It's the last tackle. A chip for the outside backs. They're a bit threadbare. Oh, Smith's let it bounce. Racing through there is Wood. He scored. He's picked the ball up and scored. Well, casual play by Smith on the right flank for the Penrith side as the chip was made by Ricky Stewart. It bounced 15 in for touch. It bounced straight past Smith and racing through to pick the ball from out of the grasp of Smith was Matthew Wood. He scored a try last year. He's on the board again this year. And the score, 6 points to 4 in favour of Penrith, Frank.
Well, Canberra replying as only a championship side can. Came straight back and put the points back on the board, taking the game to Penrith. Penrith are their own worst enemies there. They got a penalty from the kick-off. They failed to capitalise on it with a poor kick into touch, and then they conceded the ball in the second tackle, and Canberra have scored a try as a result of that. And that's an indication that you cannot give this Canberra side 1 inch of room to move when they're in possession of the ball.
Exactly, Frank. A champion side will hit back at any stage. And of course, Paul Clark losing possession of the ball within 4 rucks. Within 6 rucks, they've scored the try on the other flank, the left-hand flank. And it was Matthew Wood. It was a bad bounce to Smith. He couldn't get to it on the full. And then it tended to speed up with the bounce. And Matthew Wood in good position to go in and score. Good try to Canberra.
But he was flat-footed, wasn't he, Mark? He wasn't moving to the ball or any commitment away from it, and he was flat-footed chasing it, and that presented an easy prospect for the winger Wood.
Caught in two minds as Mal Meninga lines up the kick. He's standing over it at the moment, the big breaths as he usually does, and now he comes in.
27 metres out, 2 in from touch left side. He strikes it pretty well, but it looks to be away to the left. It is. It misses to the left of the uprights. Perhaps he didn't strike it as well as we first thought, but that try coming 12 minutes into the first half of the grand final at the Sydney Football Stadium. The score, Penrith 6, leading Canberra 4. Back to the halfway line, and Greg Alexander now with a kick-off, and well, they've been brought back to earth, the Penrith side, after scoring that beautiful early try through Simmons. The kick-off taken by Stewart. He releases to Martin on the angle, running inside towards the quarter line. He's wrapped up by Carter, who's doing a lot of chasing, and also Bentley. Here's Lazarus over the quarter line, I should say, and he's tackled a metre over the quarter line. Todd, one off the ruck, straight and hard again. He can only make 6 metres before being wrestled into the ground. A bit of a face massage coming in there from Walker, but he gets up to play the ball. Barnhill almost slips through. 11 from the halfway line, now 10. Walters runs from dummy half. Coyne in support, and a good tackle out there by Bentley it was, Cole Bentley. Now they move it. Penrith a little bit in disarray as Ricky Stewart kicks over their heads. Mackay watches it back into the arms of Barwick. He picks it up on his own goal line. He runs back open side right. Clyde has him covered, and there's not too many men that Bradley Clyde misses. He wrapped him up around the hip region, 12 metres out from the Penrith line. Here's Graham Mackay getting into the action off the wing. Tackled 18 metres out now from the Penrith line. Good defensive work by Lazarus and also Barnhill and Coyne. Now Paul Clark comes in for some treatment too from the green machine, and they dump him into the ground too from the quarter line. Lazarus again leading the way. Up the centre now, Paul Dunn. He's wrestled to the ground as well, and the Raiders now motivated, inspired by that try, trying to keep the Panthers inside their own quarter. Fittler was released. He manages to flick a pass on the inside, picked up well by Alexander. Can he motivate the attack? He's through! Alexander over the halfway line. He dummies. He can't get past Belcher. He swivels out of the tackle. He keeps it going to Vandervoort. On it goes to Bentley. Bentley tries to go through. Can he keep it alive? No, he goes to ground. 32 out. It's still not dead yet. Fittler running away. Open side left. The pass to Geyer. Oh, Geyer dummies. Where's the support on the inside? It's the last tackle. He's thrown the pass up. It's been intercepted by Belcher. Big opportunity for the Panthers and created by that man Alexander. The ball's come free in the play. The ball done has been spoken to for reefing it out. Penalty the Raiders on their own quarter line, Frank.
The genius of Alexander there went begging because his own players couldn't keep track of what he was about, and unfortunately that's come to a sticky end for them because Geyer has conceded a penalty.
Well, an error by Geyer, of course, in throwing the ball. The intercept came to Gary Belcher, and then Paul Dunn got in to compound the error to give the penalty away. They can't afford that after great breaks, Penrith.
Todd from the restart, and the Canberra Raiders in possession 5 metres inside Penrith territory. Harrigan telling the Panthers line to get back as Lazarus goes up the centre off the Walters pass. 11 metres now inside Penrith territory. 6-4 in favour of the Penrith side. They go left side through Stewart onto Coyne. Oh, Vandervoort, a crunching tackle, swooping across field and taking him ball and all 8 metres inside their own half. Here's Clyde trying to pummel his way out of tackles, palming with the right arm effectively before being put down by Dunn and also Walker. 38 metres out. Stewart goes right side. Good pass to Daly in a bit of room. Inside to Meninga. Meninga stands in the tackle, takes tacklers with him again. Put to ground by Clark. On the quarter line. The ball's come free though. Mark right in front of you. Was that a high tackle?
No.
Alexander, what was it? Knee there from Alexander.
Yes, and Greg Alexander's going to be called out. The referee's not going to take any action except to give the penalty. And what that will mean is that Mal Meninga will have the shot for goal. Greg Alexander, yes, coming down with the knee.
I think this referee's patience is going to be tested a little bit shortly with the number of high tackles that have been going in. He hasn't taken too much notice of them at the moment, but I think if they continue after this initial 15 minutes or so, he'll start clamping down on it a little bit.
Frank, Canberra are too tough a side to be worried about this head-eye tackling. They'll continue to play football as we see they have done, and Mal Meninga coming on the inside once again and making the break. The Penrith do have to make sure they tackle low because they won't win the football game tackling high. It's not in their tactics. It hasn't been throughout the season, and if they change it in grand final, well, they're looking at another loss.
Meninga, none out of one so far. 12 in from touch, right side. Just about in front of us at the football stadium. He's in shade. He'll be kicking into sunlight, and he's on the quarter line. Harrigan a couple of metres to the right of him with a good view of the kick also as Meninga ready. The shrug of the shoulders again. Feet close together, moves in, stabs the ball at goal, and he's kicked the goal and scores a level at the football stadium in the grand final of 1991. 17 minutes gone in the first half, 6-all, we're back to square one.
Yes, I notice a slight change in Canberra's style, Mark. They seem to be playing the ball much more through their forwards than they would normally, and I'm just wondering whether that has got anything to do with the injury to Laurie Daly or whether they figure this is the way they might handle Penrith best at this stage.
Well, I think they're getting a feel for the game. Bradley Clyde working in very close. We usually see him hunting out wide, but Laurie Daly would have something to do with it. There's no doubt every time he's got the football, he's looked to offload it.
Juggled from the restart by Stewart to Martin again. A similar play as the previous kick-off. Lazarus into the thick of the action once more. To the quarter line. Tackled by Walker, who's getting through loads of defensive work. He moves across to cover the next runner, Todd. 28 metres out from the Raiders line. 6-all at the football stadium in the grand final. Stewart, the long pass to Daly. Tried to flick it quickly over the top. It's on the ground. I think Fittler might have dived on the ball, but it's been knocked on. It's been knocked on by the Raiders, so it's going to be a Penrith scrum feed on the quarter line. And now the Panthers with another chance to seize an opportunity. Alexander picks the football up, Mark.
Brad Fittler read that very, very well. He came in, he knew the short ball was on, and he stopped at the man, had a look, and he dropped it. Fittler wasn't able to take it, but it's their ball.
It's Alexander to Carter, and Carter stalls and goes into the tackle. They're only 20 metres out. Fittler, the inside pass now to Barwick, and Barwick thrusting forward, only 18 metres out, tackled by Coyne and Daly. Simmons goes to the right and blindside to Geyer. Dummies, goes back the other way. He's making ground. Geyer, he's pulled down, only 8 metres out. The Raiders under siege now. Here goes Simmons, dummy half. Oh, Geyer looking for the penalty. Onto Clark. Clark only 7 metres out, 6 metres out, 5 out. He's tackling in front of the post. Simmons goes the right side. Onto Alexander, the dummy. The long pass is on the ground. It's been knocked on by Fittler out there. It's bounced into his kneecap. It's been knocked on. 6 out from the line. Not a good ball, though.
Lost opportunity for Penrith. Yes, it was an unfortunate pass, and young Fittler had a little bit of difficulty picking up. Initially, I thought it bounced off his knee.
No, it was off his hand. There's no doubt about that. The replay confirmed that. Greg Alexander with a poor pass.
Ricky Stewart looking for the clean tunnel. 10 out from his own line. He feeds 10 in from touch, left side as they defend. Releases the ball immediately to Belcher. He tries to palm his way out of the tackle of Carter, but Carter going low and beautifully. Here's Clyde off the Daly pass, and Clyde at any end of the field. Oh, he slipped a magnificent ball away to Meninga. Meninga stumbling through tackles to Daly. Daly can't get by Alexander, who wrapped him up in a good tackle, but the mean green machine hunting downfield in a pack and looking good. Stewart left side to Coyne. He's run out of supporters out there, and he's swapped. 12 from the halfway line, 15 in from touch left side. Good tackle, Clark, but now up the centre goes Matthew Wood. He's pinched 10 metres. Tackle 3 short of the halfway line. Geyer had to be there to tidy things up. Geyer now chases Walters across. He runs into Smith. He's dropped the ball. Walters, I think he's knocked it on. He's knocked it on. Trying to look back on the inside, and the odd mistake creeping in to the game. Pressure, tension for both sides. The score 6-all, and we're halfway through the first half of the grand final of 91.
Yes, we're halfway through and the scores are exactly even. Nobody has asserted their authority at this stage.
Alexander to Paul Smith over the halfway line, straight into Daly with the strapping on the hamstring on his left leg. The ankle injuries, well, they don't seem to be perturbing him too much at the moment. Now Barwick slicing through off the centre turns, couldn't find any support. Lazarus wrapped him up. 33 metres out, Simmons dummy half. Options right and left. He goes right side to Walker. Walker warming to his task too. Tackled 3 from the quarter line. The Raiders now looking a bit disoriented in defence. Alexander goes the blind side. Can he beat one tackle? Across there was Barnhill. He's beaten him. He's come back the other way, but he's roped into the ground by his opposite number, Stewart. Ball and all, good tackle, Stewart. He gets up to play the ball, Alexander on the quarter line. Left and open side, it goes from Simmons to Fittler. Fittler stops and starts, trying to shuffle his way through. He's tackled, last tackle, 20 out. They go left side to Alexander. He tips for the corner. Mackay races through. Belcher's back there to take it comfortably. 2 metres out from his own line. Well read, as Mackay has swooped on one of those kicks before from Greg Alexander, but not on that occasion.
Professionally tidied up by Gary Belcher, and that's why he was Australia's fullback.
Yes, positional play was superb there. He knew what was on and he covered it very, very well.
The Raiders through Barnhill. Oh, charges into a tackle, bounces out of defenders, left, right and centre. Paul Clark gets up as though nothing happened. Vandervoort was with him as well. The Raiders through Lazarus now again, charging up the centre over the quarter line. 6-all, 18 and a half minutes to go before half time. Harrigan again patrolling the defensive line to Daly on the last tackle. The kick not a brilliant one. Smith might take it on the bounce. He was looking into the sunlight, took it over his left shoulder, turns, races back across field, but he can't get past a chasing Coyne. A high swing from Mal Meninga, unnoticed by the referee. The touch judge unmoved, and the Panthers swing it left to Barwick. Barwick wrapped up by Todd on the halfway line in centre field.
And Ricky Stewart only just getting back into the defensive line. He's not well.
Simmons dummy half, left side, one off the ruck to Walker, but he was only at 3/4 pace. Easy pickings for the Canberra side, led by Lazarus Todd and also Clyde. They go right and open side from Alexander on to Carter, and then on to Bentley. The ball on the ground on the inside, and it's been taken by Daly. Well, they got themselves into confusion there with Fittler out wide and Todd covering up now from that good piece of work from Daly. 8 metres inside Penrith country. They go left side to Daly. The quick pass to Meninga. Not a good one. He was reeled in. He's dropped the ball. Good tackle out there, and Meninga was given the ball, and I don't think he wanted to receive it at all. Carter gets up to play the ball, and Smith runs it back to the halfway line. So Some uncharacteristic mistakes, but plenty of pressure defensively from both sides. Geyer up the centre. He can't break through. Thrust into the deck again. Huge tackle, Lazarus. The meeting of the mountains. 2 metres inside Canberra country. Open side left goes Vandervoort. Bustling his way through. He's almost through. 33 metres out the Panthers now. Close to the left touchline. They go down the blind side. Alexander to Bentley. Bentley, he's almost through. Stumbles. He was ankle tapped by Clyde. It saved the situation. He was swapped again. He's only 18 metres out to in from touch left side. To Alexander. Charging, dunking, weaving up the centre. Slips the pass away to Bowick. Underdone. Onto Vandervoort. Vandervoort with a line. The cover comes at him and takes him. Only 4 metres out. Last tackle. Simmons, where's it going to go? 15 in from touch right now inside to Alexander. Alexander, the huge pass. Taken over the shoulders there by Walker. Oh, he's dummied. Where's the support on the inside? Bowick tips it forward. Meninga's got it. Meninga with a clear run down the left touchline. Fedler comes across and takes him. Oh, superb covering tackle.
Another lost opportunity for Penrith, and Canberra fight back again.
It's the Raiders going open side right to Bell. Under Clyde over the halfway line by a metre. They should have scored then, the Panthers, and now the Raiders have a penalty. Offside against Penrith, Mark Levy.
Yes, offside, and that had to be. And Greg Alexander, Royce Simmons being called out, in fact, to be spoken to by the referee. What a tackle by Brad Fittler, and he had to make it on the biggest man on the paddock, Mal Meninga. He was charging down the sideline. Great tackle by Fittler, right down the legs, and as soon as it was brought out wide, no doubt Canberra were on the counter-attack, and offside play by Penrith. They had to make the tackle. They were offside. The referees made the right decision. It looks as though Mal Meninga, is he going to have a shot for goal?
Yes, he's using up as much time as he can. That was a very thankful penalty to Canberra. They're using the opportunity here to look at a few wounded players.
One of them is Ricky Stewart, as we suggested, Laurie Daly. He certainly hasn't stretched out at the moment. Plenty of players here getting water from the trainers. They are very, very tired lot, Canberra. Plenty of pressure has been applied by the Penrith defence and also their attack.
They've been under a lot of pressure, Canberra, from the Penrith attack. Penrith seem to have had a lot more possession of the football than Canberra, and it's only great defence from Canberra that's stopped Penrith from being further ahead on the scoreboard.
10 metres inside Penrith territory. Meninga now still placing the ball, still lining it up, and the crowd at the football stadium hushed. 41,500 this afternoon are here watching the game, and it has been the sort of pulsing opening that we expected. A couple of mistakes from the pressure, but the sheer power of the defence from either side creating those defensive attacking mistakes. Here goes Meninga now with the kick. This too edged the Raiders ahead. He moves in from 40 metres out. He struck it away to the right of the uprights. It was a flat low kick that passed by the right upright, and Mark Levy, the score remains at 6-all.
It remains at 6 points all, and Brad Izzard coming to the sideline, so this will be interesting to see what change is imminent. I think it'll probably be Cole Bentley who started well. It surprised me that Brad Izzard is on so early, but he is a strike player, and maybe he's suggesting that Canberra are getting a little tired, and he can make the difference.
The drop out from Alexander finds Belcher. He takes it on his chest, moves back towards the halfway line, tackled 5 short of the halfway line by Paul Dunn and Mark Geyer. Walters left side, one off the ruck to Bradley Clyde, and a low tackle attempted across there, but I think it was Vandervoort. He looks to be injured in the tackle. The Raiders move left side, and now shuffling through a hole almost is Bell, who's been quiet so far, but he's tackled 6 metres inside Penrith country by Clark. Right and open side from Walters to Stewart to Daly. Quick hands to Meninga, quicker hands to Belcher. Belcher with a hole in front. Can he move into it? He jinks right side, sends it to Martin down the right flank. He was wrapped up there well. The cover was across superbly. Mackay making the tackle. 28 metres out from the Penrith line. A big Raiders line left side, long pass from Stewart to Daly. Meninga outside. Clyde's outside him. He's through a gap. He's over the quarter line. The ball back in front. He's split the pass out to Matthew Wood, and they're in for another try. It's a sensational effort from the Canberra Raiders. Great stuff down the left touch line. Great stuff, was it? Great stuff down the left flank.
Traditional Canberra try, using the full power and strength and class of their back line. Long passes from Stewart to Daly to Meninga, who put Clyde through a short opening, and Clyde did the rest, putting the winger away in perfect fashion.
Ah, beautiful try by Canberra. Gary Belcher down the right side, and then the long passes. Laurie Daly to Mal Meninga, and Mal Meninga just slightly across field, got it onto Brad Clyde. Clyde was outside Van der Voort, and then beautifully set up his wing three-quarter Matthew Wood, who had to reach for it, but he got it, and he scored his second try. Brad Clyde coming to the sideline now too, maybe just perhaps a little recurrence of that knee problem. In fact, he looks as though he's coming off for Darren Fritz. He is.
This next 11 minutes of this game will be very, very important. Penrith need to strike back. They need to get themselves down into Canberra's territory. They've looked very dangerous when possession of the ball on Canberra's line, and only last-ditch defence has saved them, and a couple of errors from Penrith. Conversely, Canberra, I think, will be wanting to play the territorial game and be down in Penrith's half for the rest of this half.
Yes, and isn't it very interesting that Brad Izzard was trying to get on about 3 or 4 minutes ago. Brad Clyde is actually in the blood bin at the moment,
yes.
So he'll come back on very shortly as soon as he's cleaned up. But Brad Izzard was wanting to get on, and he wasn't able to. Cole Bentley caught slightly out of position and couldn't get there, and the try came. Here's Mal Meninga about to kick the goal.
Meninga from the touchline, 28 metres out from goal. He struck it towards goal. It's well flighted, but away again, this time across the face of goal. So the score remains with that try. That would try his second. Canberra 10, Penrith 6, with 10 minutes and 47 seconds to go before half-time. Frank Stanton.
I wonder whether we're going to see those 3 missed chances at goal by Mal Meninga having some impact on the score at the end of this game.
1 out of 4 to Mal Meninga, and Alexander back to the halfway line. And what a start for Penrith. They led 6-0. A mistake from them, and it was 6-all. And now it's 10 points to 6 to the Raiders. There's a replacement there, Darren Fritz on the field. 13 metres out from the Raiders line. Gary Coyne now back towards the quarter line again. He's wrapped up by Simmons. Good aggressive tackle. Walters open side, one off the ruck to Todd. Todd's roped into the ground and thrust into the deck by Paul Clark. 23 metres out from the Raiders line. Open side, one off the ruck to Fritz. And Fritz goes back into the centre of the ruck region, and he's tackled again by Clark. Now Walters trying to sneak through up the centre again, but not this time. He's tackled by Izzard and also by Dunn. Stewart with the kick. One off the ruck, open side left. He angles it across field left side, and Smith takes it on the chest. It was going over his shoulder, but he took it on the chest well, looking into the sun, and he's pulled the ground 11 metres from the halfway line. Up to play the ball. Van der Voort, dummy half to Alexander. On to Barwick now. Barwick off the right and left foot, and he can't get through. 8 metres from the halfway line. Coyne and also Todd, the tacklers. They go right side. This time to Dunn from the Simmons pass, but good aggressive tackling. Oh, chasing through was Izzard. He couldn't slip the ball away. 5 from the halfway line. Simmons, right and open side. One off the ruck to Walker. Trying to use the left arm as a fend, but he was fending thin air on the halfway line. Now Fettler jinking off the left foot. Turns, where's the support? They're all flat-footed, and Simmons has knocked it on. Simmons knocked it on. 8 metres from, or in the Canberra half, and so the Raiders with the feed, 8 from halfway.
I think that's the way they think they can beat Canberra, up the middle with the quicker blokes, and no doubt that's why Brad Izzard's been put on, and also Brad Fittler.
It's a Canberra scrum win, and Meninga has the ball in the arms again, and what a danger he is. 9 metres from the halfway line, tackled by Fittler, who's got the job today. Here's Barnhill, 2 from the halfway line, 12 in from touch right side. Meninga going into dummy half, left side to Stewart. The long pass to Daly, clearing the ruck again. Daly makes the opening for Belcher, but it closes quickly, and he's roped into the deck out wide by the winger Smith. On the halfway line, Daly now. One off the ruck to Coyne. Coyne again, slipping the pass away to Walters. Walters stops and starts up the centre. Oh, the hole's creeping into the play. The Panthers are going to have to cover up there. 13 metres inside Panther country. The Raiders on the attack again. Daly dummy half. The pass right side to Stewart. To Meninga. Meninga grubbers through. Martin chases. Barwick's across. The bounce of the ball is a good one. It's picked up by Fritz. He's tackled 10 out. Oh, it must be a try if they move it left side on the last tackle. Here goes Stewart. Will he kick? He runs across field. Meninga. The inside ball to Meninga. For the line. The pass to Bell. The inside pass to Todd. The pass to Fritz. For the line. He's held up. He's pushed back. It's a handover.
A handover, and John Cartwright warming up on the sideline too. He's going to be thrust into the play.
Oh, tremendous attacking raid from the Raiders, and they just needed a man with a bit more pace and power at the death. But good defence by the Penrith side as Carter dashes back up to the quarter line.
Peter, I thought they should have gone left the long pass, and it was on.
Yes, I agree.
It's end-to-end at the moment. Paul Clark injecting himself once more tackled. 26 metres out from the Penrith line. Simmons goes to Alexander. He runs. They've let him run. The pass to Fittler. He breaks through. He beats. No, he doesn't. The pass on the inside. It's been knocked down. It's been knocked on by Daly. Oh, coming at him was Stewart, who was grappling at him. He looked to get past the challenge of Stewart. He came against Stewart, the pass on the inside, and it's been knocked down by Daly. And it's a scrum feed to Penrith, 10 in from touch right side on the halfway line.
John Cartwright on, Barry Walker off.
Daly gone to the wing and moved Matthew Wood into the 5'8" situation.
Smith from the scrum. Makes it over the halfway line by a metre, held up by Belcher and also Wood. They go open side left to Cartwright, his first touch of the ball. He stumbles in the tackle of Coyne and falls at the feet of Barnhill. They're running again, quick hands, releasing Vandervoort, but he's upended. Big charge by Meninga.
Oh, good tackle.
Oh, Meninga has thumped Vandervoort into the deck, and Vandervoort's got a lower back problem now after that crunching tackle for Meninga, picking him up and jarring him into the Sydney Football Stadium surface.
It's a hip injury, no doubt, because Vandervoort's leg was tied up behind his back, and I think it's a hip problem. He is hurt.
It's a perfectly legitimate tackle. I don't like to see a player hurt, but it was a perfectly legitimate tackle.
Okay, and we've got an interchange. Brent Todd is off, and Brad Clyde is coming back. Of course, he was in the head bin, so there's no real interchange there.
The Panthers play the ball. Alexander with numbers outside. On the inside is Fittler charging. Steps off the left foot. Held up, tackled. Tackled well by Barnhill, a couple of metres short of the quarter line. They go right side. Here's Cartwright. Can he feed the support? He does. Carter breaks away, dummying down the right flank. He's almost through. Danger time here for as Izzard gets up to play the ball. 8 metres out to Alexander, left side onto Carter it goes. Feeds the ball out to Fittler. Here goes Guy. Guy dummies. Oh, looping round. Bad pass back inside. Fittler doesn't pick it up. He lets it go for Vandervoort, who's recovered. Back inside the quarter line again as it was Izzard, right side, who made that break before. And now it's a handover, Mark.
Yes, handover on the 6th, and Canberra did very, very well to cover that up, and Mark Guy with a head-high tackle again.
A big tackle on Clyde. He's gone down like a sack of potatoes, and the touch judge hasn't moved a muscle. The Guy going in with arms flailing again, and Clyde's been clipped on the head, and the referee, the touch judge, have not done a thing about it.
Yeah, and the referee, he was right in front of it. He had to control that, surely.
It's Meninga down the blind side right. Chips and chases ahead. The bounce important. Alexander has it covered. Can he get away from Meninga? No, but he releases the pass, Alexander. He puts Barwick into the clear. Up towards the halfway line. He gets outside Bell. He gets outside Wood. Down the right flank. He's covered up by Wood. He takes him 5 metres inside Canberra country. A metre in from touch right side. Dummy half of Smith. He runs open side and makes 10 metres. He's now 15 inside Canberra territory. 11 in from touch. Right side, Simmons, the one-off pass. That goes to Dunn, and Dunn held up and then pushed into the deck by Coyne. And also Daly. Outside the quarter line by a few metres. They go to the blind side. Cartwright ghosting through the gap. He tries to slip it to the support, Carter, but he held onto the ball. On the quarter line, 11 in from touch. Good tackle, Daly. They go left and open side. Simmons to Clark. Clark over the quarter line. A couple of metres inside the quarter. Held up by Fritz and Lazarus. 16 metres out. Left and open side to Simmons. To Alexander. To Guy. Dummies. And holds up the pass. He flicks it back to Alexander. Over the top, the looping ball to Mackay. He cuts back in field. It's the last tackle. He's knocked the ball on, trying to release it. He kicked it forward. It's been passed back and diving on the ball.
Penalty.
The Raiders penalty to Penrith. Held back. Well, he looked like he knocked the ball on, but perhaps he dropped the ball there. The referee to ruling that he was held back with out possession of the football, Mark.
Yes, that's certainly what he's called, but he's called the touch judge in now, and I think they will talk to Mark Geyer now. That's miles too late. It should have been a penalty to Canberra. I cannot believe it. He's called Meninga over, actually.
The penalty was for the holding back of Mackay early. He played advantage and allowed the play to go on. Yeah,
they're talking to Geyer now, but it's too late, Frank, surely.
Yeah, I agree.
They wanted the penalty.
I agree with you there. The referee and the linesman both saw that, and they should have penalised him before. Mind you, we have to admire the courage of this Canberra side. They're repelling this constant pressure from Penrith.
Penrith throwing the ball wide, and Mark Geyer standing wide, as does Bradley Clyde. Bradley Clyde probably been the more effective. And I think Mark Guyer's just got to settle down a little bit in his play, particularly his defensive play. He's a very aggressive player, we know that. but it's costing him a little bit in his attacking play. I think he's just not concentrating fully on the game. He's concentrating more on the player.
Sure, I think the injection of Cartwright was to give an extra dimension to Penrith's attack. He's tried a couple of times to slip the ball, and the runners have overrun him, both Carter and Izzard. He's very ginger in his fitness too, Cartwright. He was tackled there very heavily, and he took him quite a while to get up, so I don't think he's entirely fit.
Yeah, Frank, and Greg Alexander, of course, this is probably his best ground as far as goal kicking concerned. He was lucky with the first one. Here he comes for the second.
And he hooked the first one at ricocheted in off the left upright. 2.5 to go before half time. This to make the difference too. Canberra lead 10-6. Alexander moves in. He struck it to the left of the uprights. And Alexander again looking up at Paul Dunn and saying, gee, I wish we got that one. Or maybe words to that effect.
It's a thankless task, that goal kicking, but it means a lot. And you know, the confidence that your fellow players get from you when you score a goal, it's immeasurable.
And the dropout taken by Smith. He gallops back immediately to the halfway line. He's over the halfway line. The Raiders a bit sluggish getting to him. And finally the tackle made by Bell. It was missed by Daly, who looks to be a passenger. Raked back, and Bell slips down the left touchline. A man in front was Fittler. He tried to jive inside Fittler, but he came again and took him, and the cover was across in the shape of Clark. They go right side to Stewart on the centre line, in the centre field. He swamped at a good covering tackle by Cartwright, right on the halfway line. Up to play the ball now. Clark had covered there as well. Right and open side to Clyde, long pass to Meninga. They look like breaking again through. Belcher into a hole. Pass Izzard up to the quarter line. The fullback in front to Martin. Cut down in a brilliant covering tackle. Beautiful tackle. He gets up to play the ball now. Cartwright had swarmed all over him. Long pass left side. They've got to score if they pick it up. Daly, the quick pass out to Stewart. It looks to have been knocked down. Back into Daly's arm. 6 to go. The pass to Walters. Oh, they've got to score, but Lazarus has cut back in field. Can he keep it alive? He's held up. 11 out. Fittler holding him up. So too Cartwright. It goes left side to Coyne. The inside ball now to Barnhill. He's only 8 metres out tackled. The Raiders have a penalty. Trying to reef the ball back, Cartwright. Fittler was there as well, and surely a professional foul that close to the line.
It's got to be 10 minutes, hasn't it, Peter?
Well, it's not 10 minutes at all.
Why the inconsistency? I don't know. I can't believe it. John Cartwright there, costing Canberra a chance of 6. They will probably get 2, but in all other circumstances, that's 10 minutes.
And Matthew Wood to take the kick. Meninga's relinquished it.
Well, he's only kicked 1 from 4, Frank, and obviously his confidence isn't all that sky high. I think he might want to concentrate in his game now. Matthew Wood is a good goal kicker. He's kicked in the final and in the semi-final when Mal hasn't been on, so it looks as though Wood might take over for the rest of the afternoon. Canberra had a big chance. Glenn Lazarus wouldn't throw it left. Another try gone, begging for Canberra.
Yes, it certainly should have gone out on the left that time. What about Daly, Mark? He's come to the sideline here.
Yes, don't worry, he'll be on. He's staying on. He's just having a talk to the trainer, Brian Hyder, there. Brian says, how are you going? And time is up for half-time, so he wouldn't be coming off. It'd only be just to get first use of the dressing rooms.
Wood with the ball placed, 15 in from touch left side, and 19 metres out from goal. Shuffles in quickly, strikes it straight between the uprights. A confident kick. Perhaps he should have been doing it from the outset. So at half-time, it's the Raiders in front by 12 points to 6. 2 tries to 1, 2 goals to 1. The Raiders 12 leading Penrith 6 as they troop back into the tunnel. All is just about in readiness. Mal Meninga waiting for the field to clear, the music perhaps to stop. Everyone's off the field. Harrigan waits to the right of Meninga. Meninga looks across to Bill Harrigan, who puts the left arm in the air and points it to the ball. And now Meninga starts play once more. The high kick downfield is taken by Paul Smith, and he runs back at top pace towards the quarter line, bumping out of 1 charge and 2. Good run from Smith over the quarter line. That's better from the Panthers all of a sudden, and Simmons senses a bit of a hole up the centre and makes another 8 metres. A good start. Well, a good 2 tackle start from the Panthers. Right side from Alexander to Geyer now. He's 10 from the halfway line, pushed back on his left elbow. And Laurie Daly, the tackler, And he had some assistance from Steve Walters as well, and also Ricky Stewart. One off the ruck, Paul Clark, 5 metres from the halfway line in centre field. It's the Raiders leading by 12 points to 6. We're in the second half. It's Cartwright bursting through down the left. He had his art outside, but he couldn't release him on the last tackle. It's run by Alexander. Well, he juggled and dropped it onto the boot. Covering back there is Martin. He takes it. Can't beat the swarming, enveloping tackle of Graham Mackay. 18 metres out from his own line. They immediately push it straight to Meninga, and he bustles back to the quarter line. Coming in for some heavy treatment too, Big Mal. On the quarter line, 10 in from touch right side. Walters dummy half, one off the ruck. It goes to Fritz. He's over the quarter line. Tackled there by Clark. 23 metres out from the Canberra Raiders line. Gary Coyne running left and open side vigorously. And a player looks to have been caught there. It looks to be the replacement there, Izzard, as the Raiders go right side and scooting away as Martin down the right touchline. A big break down the right flank as they cleared the ball quickly. 32 metres out from the Raiders line. Left side it goes now. The little left foot chip kick for the touchline from Ricky Stewart. Finds touch, 9 metres out, and again they've been exposed down that right side, Frank.
Yes, a perfect example of Canberra's attacking ability there. Clyde drifted across, put Meninga in the gap, and Meninga a quick fire pass to the winger, and the winger did the rest. Excellent little left foot jab kick from Ricky Stewart too to gain territory.
It's a Penrith ball, and Mackay's tackle 13 metres out from his own line. Belcher up there with Daly. Daly goes across, but he can't get anywhere near Carter, and he didn't even try in any case. Just short of the quarter line, 10 in from touch left side. Sorry, Mark.
Yes, and he's just hopping across to the right wing too, Peter, so he's going to play a bit of the game there.
Paul Clark gets up to play the ball, and the Panthers through Guy now storming towards or outside the quarter line. He tried to go through a hole, but Bradley Clyde was there, and so too Todd and also Barnhill. Here's Cartwright now, warming up the centre and getting the legs and arms moving. A quick play the ball too, gives them some inspiration to Alexander. He kicks open side left, past Belcher. It bounces towards touch. Is it going to find touch? No. Belcher reels it in, runs back, angling open side, sends the pass to Barton. He sends a dangerous pass to Daly. Back to Belcher again. Arrogant play from the Raiders outside their own quarter line, and coming to rest 28 metres out from their own line. Walters dummy half, hands on the hips. He has the ball in the hands now. Clyde open side, one off the ruck, and a trio of Panthers thrust him into the deck, led by Paul Dunn. 32 metres out in centre field. Walters dummy half again to Stewart. The pass goes out to Barnhill. He can't beat a good tackle from Vandervoort around the shoulders. 32 out, the Raiders. They go open side right. The Lazarus off the Stewart pass, and he's stopped by Simmons. Good tackle from the veteran. 11 from the halfway line. Right side to Stewart. He kicks open side right. Watching the ball, Barwick and also Mackay. Mackay might take it. He does. 12 out from his own line. Lopes back to the quarter line. He tries to beat Daly. Daly takes him well around the ankle. And a great tackle from Laurie Daly. Is Smith now sensing and opening up the centre, and he's been one of the dangerous players from the stop-start play. Now Alexander running from dummy half and darting and weaving, but he can't find his way through. Tackled by Bell and Barnhill. Geyer up the centre. The Raiders are just letting them come to them at the moment, and perhaps that's a danger sign. 8 metres from the halfway line. Who wants it this time? Clark. The cutout pass went past the little 5'8" Carter, and Clark's tackled on the halfway line in centre field, wrapped up there by Lazarus and also Clyde. Here goes Alexander, a high kick downfield, and might go into touch near the corner flag. I think it has. Or has it gone touch in goal? It's gone touch in goal. Well, the crowd over the far side having a close look at the look to bounce very adjacent to that corner flag, Mark.
Yes, it's a long way away from me. I'm waiting for the replay on the screen, to be quite honest, Peter. They're not going to give it to us, I don't know. Official attendance, 41,815, which is a new ground record.
28 metres out from the Raiders line. They're back in possession again, and Lazarus bumping out of tackles of the Penrith players, doing themselves a bit of injustice, getting into each other's way. Coyne open side left, a quick pass to Barnhill, a high tackle from Geyer. It looped around his neck, but the referee said play on. He gets up to play the ball. He was punched into the ground again, legally of course, but it should have been a penalty for a second tackle. Clyde, 6 metres from the halfway line. Daly dummy half. Bad pass, went past Stewart. Picked up on the bounce fortuitously by Lazarus. He kicks. It's been charged down. It's anybody's ball. It's Clark. It goes backwards. Picked up by Fittler. He tries to wrestle free of the charge, but he's taken by Martin. 2 metres inside Canberra country. Alexander senses a bit of a gap left side. Runs to the touchline. Calls the winger inside Mackay, but he's dumped into the deck. Super tackle by the big fella, Mal Meninga. 35 metres out from the line. Carter open side right. There's no one there with Carter. He's going around. He's a lonely man. Now he passes back on the inside the ball. Finds Clark up the centre. He's tackled a couple of metres short of the quarter line. The Raiders back pedal. The tackler Coyne. Simmons runs from dummy half. He's over the quarter line again. He's a handful. 16 metres out from the line. 10 metres to the left of the uprights. Open side right, it goes to Alexander. To Cartwright. Cartwright bursting. Can he get the arm free? He's still going, Cartwright. Oh, he tried to slip it and he's dropped the ball and the Raiders are back in possession again. 6 metres out from their own line. Coyne picks up the crumbs. Mark Levy.
Yes, Cartwright went so close. Alexander and Simmons marshalling the troops. Cartwright just tried to get the pass away. I just got a feeling that Lorrydale, he might have knocked that out of his arms there, but it was play on.
Meninga 13 metres out from his own line, and the Raiders can be venomous from this position as well if they decide to. And Martin almost slips through. He makes 15 metres, and Panthers, well, they go to sleep for just a moment, and Clyde, sensing that too, tries to go through up the centre tackle 8 short of the halfway line. Simmons had to make the tackle along with Clark. Back to the kick for Belcher. 12 from the halfway line. It's a high punt downfield. Barwick's underneath it, takes it safely on the chest. Over the quarter line he runs. Back towards Stewart. Stewart stands his ground and takes him at a good tackle. 20 metres from the halfway line in centre field. Walters was also there. Alexander goes to Smith. Smith is the runner. He beats one tackle. Can't beat the second. And he's held up by Lazarus and dumped a metre from the halfway line in centre field. Walters making the tackle as well as Clyde. Simmons now to Fittler. Fittler probing. Oh, breaking one tackle and the second tackle taking in Walters. They go left side again. Danger here. Alexander running. He's allowed to run the quick pass. And Cartwright take it, but he's swamped by Meninga in a block-busting charge. 33 metres out. The Panthers on the attack again through Dunn. Dunn 5 metres from the quarter line. Oh, he's dropped the ball trying to slip it, but it's been reaped out of his arm. Penalty. Penalty, Penrith. 28 metres out from the Raiders line. It's a penalty to the Panther side, reefing the ball out. They're 11 metres in from touch. Well, they've got to kick for goal. Greg Alexander's going to kick for touch. Well, they've got to go for the post, and he does now. He does now.
Penrith's best chance lie here in their breaks from dummy half, but they've got to be supported. They're making yards and yards of ground from the dummy half, but they have no support. If they can get some players there with support, this Canberra defence is shot to pieces around that area.
Yeah, well, that's what Timmy Sheen said at half-time, and Brad Fittler, of course, getting in there. He's quick, he's got the step. If they support him, there's no doubt that they will make yardage upfield. But I agree with you, Frank, there is not enough support there at the moment.
They seem to be waiting for the third and fourth ruck for planned moves rather than supporting the current one.
You can't do that in rugby league. Your chance comes whenever the ruck's on. Whenever the play's in vogue, you've got to chase.
12 points to 6 in favour of Canberra. Just to make it 12-8 with 31 to go. Alexander from the angle, left side. He strikes it towards goal. It's held up in the air. It's gone across the face of goal, taken by Bell. Well, Bell feinted a pass, and a highest tackle from Fittler. Went unchecked from the referee, but he made it back into the field of play. And now Bell, well, he did cop that charge there, and he might be bleeding. It's been picked up, though. It's going to be a try. No, the touch judge is on. What's happening here? Over in the corner, Steve Smith. The touch judge has gone onto the field. The touch judge has run onto the field while the ball's in motion, and we're going to see controversy here, whatever happens. Up to play the ball, and the ball, well, it seemed to come free in the tackle. It was picked up and sent out to the winger. And what's going to happen here? Guyer's talking. He's been given 10 in the bin, Guyer.
The temperamental flaw is starting to appear.
10 in the bin for Mark Guyer. He's still talking. He's heated. He's shaking his head. The arm swaying vigorously from side to side. He can't believe it. The referee now trying to soothe the Penrith side. They can't believe it. They think they've been dealt a real injustice here, and now some arguing going on. Well, the ball looked to come free in the tackle. Mark, what was it as far as you're concerned?
Well, it's a head-high tackle, Peter, and they've got it. It's up to referee Bill Harrigan to clamp down on. He's not doing that. It was over the top, Mark Guyer. Then it was picked up by Vandervoort. He got it on to Smith, who went over for the try. But it's 10 minutes in the sin bin for Mark Guyer, not only for the over the top, but I'm sure it was for answering back. Penrith, they've got to keep their tackles down, and the referee's got to act on the spot. He hasn't been doing that.
Well, it was taken by Bell behind the line. He made it back into the field of play. Fittler came with the highest tackle, and then, well, Bell got up and played the ball. It was from the next play the ball that we saw that Mark Guyer infringement when it popped loose in the tackle, and over in the corner was Smith. But the Raiders have it now, and Penrith, Well, they're under pressure. Lazarus now making it count. He's 11 from the halfway line. They lead by 12-6 on the scoreboard. The Raiders against the side with only 12 men. And the number 12, Gary Coyne, 5 from the halfway line. Walters dummy half. Stewart wants it. He takes it calmly. Back on the inside to Barnhill. He thrusts forward, makes a couple of metres. He's pulled down a metre short of the halfway line. Walters open side right. It goes to Clyde. Holds up the pass, but he can't release Bell. And he's tackled a metre inside Penrith territory. 15 in from touch, left, right side they go, left and open side, and Stewart puts it on the toe. Downfield, all juggled by Mackay. 10 in from touch. He angles towards us right side. He hesitates, jives off the right foot over the quarter line. He beat Clyde, but couldn't beat the next assault from Walters. Now here's Smith again. Smith claps on the pace, but he can't get past a good low tackle from Daly. 20 from the halfway line, the Panthers. They're bunched in centre field. They need to... they need to be supportive at the moment of each other, but they seem to be arguing as Fittler made a run towards the halfway line. Now Van der Voort takes his turn. It's one out stuff at the moment. The ball slipped back. And Van der Voort, well, he made another spun out of a tackle, and he went over the halfway line. They move it left side. Alexander to Cartwright. Cartwright palming out of tackles, but Coyne comes again and takes him. So too Daly. 10 metres inside Raider country. They go right side to flat pass to Barwick. He kicks for the left touchline. Pass Belcher. Into touch it goes. Well, 2 metres from the corner flag, Frank Stanton.
Well, that was a good kick and well directed, but that'll suit suit Canberra because they're at their best from set play, and they have a man advantage in the game at this stage. And you watch for them to spread this ball, even though it's on their own try line.
They would like, however, that they had a fit Laurie Daly, and Laurie's not going to run, so that's a disadvantage to them. Barry Walker starting to warm up, so obviously he'll be coming on into the pack somewhere.
The scrum goes down. 7 out. It's being pushed forward by Canberra. The ball into the scrum. It's still in there. It comes out ever so slowly. Taken by Stewart, and Belcher can't get past Carter, and they wrestle him to ground. Barwick was also there to assist. 10 out. Here goes Clyde, and Clyde steeling himself against the Panther assault. Bumps out of one tackle, but Izzard came again. Left side to Meninga. Meninga over the quarter line. They leap high all over him like a rash. 28 metres out. 28 out from the Canberra line. One off the ruck. Here's Todd. He dummied on the inside, but there was no one there and they didn't buy it. 32 metres out from their own line. The Raiders, they lead by 12 points to 6. 27 minutes to go. Stewart, the inside pass again, and he finds Coyne, but he's just throwing the ball. He's might be a passenger running, but the passing is superb, and now the kicking too as he angles it again right side. Mackay picks it up, 32 out from his own line. Again saunters back towards Daly and brushes through Daly. He's lost a boot in the exchange and gets up now to play the ball as Bell it was who took him, and now Smith fires up from dummy half, and he's tackled 5 short. Pushed back. He was 8 short of the halfway line now. Lazarus leading the way with Todd. Fittler now trying to burst through over the halfway line. They take him in a tackle. He's a metre inside Canberra country. They go left side to Alexander. Cartwright running off him. Who's on the inside? Well, Izzard's there somewhere, but he couldn't get the pass away. 10 metres inside touch. It goes right and open side to Clark. Clark, he beats one tackle, runs into Lazarus, who stands his ground and takes him. 28 metres out. He gets up to play the ball. It's going to be a penalty here. The big fella's all in to play the ball. Lazarus, it's a penalty to Penrith. 28 out from the Raiders line. If they can soak up a bit more time with a kick for goal, well, Alexander's going to kick for touch. They've got to kick for goal. This is stupid again, Mark.
Yes, no doubt about it. They've got 25 minutes to win this game, and a kick for the line. They may come off with 6 points, but why not take the 2 points? They're on offer, and they've only got 12 minutes. Soaks up a bit of time. Geyer comes back onto the field.
They move the ball now. Here's Paul Dunn. 11 metres out, he's tackled. The referee signalling the Raiders to get back. 10 metres out. He gets up to play the ball. Simmons under Clark. He's 1 out too. He beats one tackle. He can see the line, but he doesn't have the energy to get there. 8 metres out from the line. Simmons now. The runner's coming everywhere. He goes left side dummy to Carter. A chance for Carter. He goes for the line. Oh, he's pulled down a metre short. A metre short over in the left corner, but I think it's going to be a handover. He's dropped the ball, has he?
Ball.
It's a Canberra ball. Daly's picked it up, and the opportunity is lost as a juggle for the ball from Canberra gives their supporters a heart flutter, but it had to be a kick for the goal. It's still 12 points to 6, 25 minutes to go.
Well, that's a let-off for Canberra, and Greg Alexander's made a decision there, whether he made it in the pressure of the situation or... It just seemed to be the wrong decision because they came up with nothing.
And another high tackle coming in from Paul Dunn on Barnhill.
He's got to be consistent.
Well, I don't really think this one was a high tackle at all. He just belted him into the ground. I thought it was legitimate. Have a look at it on the replay. No, it was high. Agreed. Referee's got him.
And now a penalty to the Raiders, and there with the man advantage, a replacement about to be made in front of you. Fritz coming on to the field, Mark.
Yes, Fritz, and I'd say it's for Lazarus, who's just given away that penalty, getting a little bit tired. He's coming off, no doubt about it, and Fritz will be on.
It's the Raiders now. Can they make it very hard for the Panthers with a score here? They lead by 12 points to 6, but Penrith, well, they've had opportunities to get back into the lead, onto the scoreboard again in the second half. They haven't taken them, and now Stewart sets the pass out to Clyde, and he's tackled by Clark in centre field along with Vandervoort. They go left side. Meninga now at three-quarter pace, and then trying to clap it on, but he can't get past Vandervoort. 35 metres out, options right and left. It goes right side to Stewart, to Daly. He reaches to take the ball, starts again, looks for the support, but he couldn't get the pass away as Vandervoort wrapped him up. 11 metres inside Penrith country. Last tackle, Meninga grubbering for the right touchline, and it's going to go touch in goal, is it? It's going to go dead. It does go dead. It looked to be going touch in goal, then dead. It looked as though it was going to hold up, but in the end it went dead, and now a restart from the centre of the quarter line.
Yes, and Mal Meninga not very happy. Barry Walker is asking Paul Dunn to come from the paddock. So Paul Dunn, a few indiscretions, and Phil Gould has decided to give him a rest.
It's Penrith now. Fittler gets up to play the ball. Simmons onto Smith, and Smith showing a few of his forwards how to go about it. 15 from the halfway line. He gets up quickly after the tackle of Coyne. Left side it goes to Izzard from Simmons. Izzard again trying to power through. He can't get past the tackle of Fritz. Fritz goes across to take Clark, and Clark forced to pass outside to Izzard. He dummies. He goes towards the halfway line. Tackle on the halfway line. Good tackle there by Walters and Meninga. Simmons runs from dummy half again, getting the legs moving in a stuttering motion, and makes 10 metres. Tackled 10 metres inside Canberra country. They're down on the scoreboard. Alexander kicks for the left touchline. It bounces 5 inside the touchline. It heads towards touch. It's there. 3 metres again from the corner flag. 22 and a half minutes to go, and the Raiders lead by 12 points to 6.
I don't see the value of putting the ball into touch there in that situation. They need to wear Canberra out even more and make them play. They're just giving them a rest and soaking up time and using up the clock.
Maybe they're happy to have that happen with 12 men on the paddock, Frank. Maybe they want Geyer on there before they try anything like that.
They better hurry up.
The scrum goes down again, and a big push from Canberra. Here's Daly, the inside pass to Meninga, trying to make that sort of play that can result in a 90-metre run. And Meninga, well, it was well read on the inside by Vandervoort and Carter. The Raiders now try to burst clear again, and 18 metres out from their own line. It's going to be Clyde to get up and play the ball. He does, too short of the quarter line. Now here's Barnhill, open side left, and he makes 7 metres. Over the quarter line he is, and he's taken by Cartwright. Up to play the ball. Walters dummy half. The Raiders through Stewart. On now to Fritz, and Fritz again taken high. A lunge by Fittler and low by Vandervoort. 16 from the halfway line, the Raiders. Running from dummy half as Walters. The gap closed off. Oh, they've come up with a mistake. They've knocked it forward. It's going to be a Penrith ball here. Carter's got to pick it up. He lost a bit of ground, and they lost 15 metres. They couldn't swoop on it quickly enough, but they're back in possession. 2 metres inside Canberra's territory. Alexander goes left side to Izzard. Izzard off the left foot, probing back on the infield. In cover defence was Clyde. 12 metres inside Canberra's territory. Penrith with the football, down by 6 on the scoreboard. Walker now, only at three-quarter pace up the centre, and he's easy pickings. 32 out from the Raiders line. Dummy half Simmons, right side and open. It goes to Alexander. Holds up the pass there for Clark. He goes straight up the centre but can't find a way through. 27 metres out from the Raiders line. Right and open side, a work move from Alexander. He sends it out to Cartwright. They call for offside, not given. Cartwright wrapped up by Barnhill on the quarter line. Daly also making the tackle. Smith to Alexander. Open side left to Walker. Walker with some room. He looks for support. No one on the inside. Where's the support? 18 metres out from the line. They go right side on the last tackle. Alexander dummies. The pass goes up to Geyer. The ball's on the ground. It's muscled forward. It's picked up by Canberra, and they're almost through as Geyer rushed back on the field, Mark, and nearly scored a try.
Yes, Mark Geyer had just come on the paddock. He raced onto a Greg Alexander ball. He tried to get the pass out. It went forward off a Canberra player, by the way, so if Penrith had picked that up, it would have been 6 more to go. Canberra covered up, and they got possession once more, but it's 13 against 13 now.
10 metres out from their own line. The Raiders again, this time Fritz He's tackled, second tackle there from Fittler, the ankle tap and not given by the referee. Clyde runs the open side, wrapped up in a low tackle by Simmons on the quarter line, getting to the business end of the game now. 19 minutes to go, 12-6. Oh, good tackle from the Raiders there. A big solid push back by Barry Walker. He had some assistance from, I think it was Vandervoort. A metre from the quarter line, the Raiders now. They go to kick. Belcher eluding one tackle. He's pressured for the kick. It goes high in the air. It goes 30, 40 metres downfield. And Barwick takes it. 10 from the halfway line. Claps on the post, Barwick. Can he beat one tackle? He sends the ball out to Alexander. The inside pass to Izzard. Izzard taken low. Missed by Clyde. He's still going. The cover comes across. He's still going. And he's tackled 11 metres short of the line. The Panthers on the attack. They go the blind side. Here's Mackay. Mackay trying to burst through himself. Tackled 5 short of the line. Simmons dummy half open side right to Alexander. Gaia thumping onto the football. Tackled 6 short of the line. He's got to get up and play the ball. There to the left of the uprights. Who wants it? Simmons goes the blind side to Cartwright. Cartwright, the long pass out wide. Oh, it's been intercepted. No, it's been knocked down. Martin was away with daylight in front, and it's been knocked down by the Raiders.
We're in that last 20-minute period now, and where the tightness really should be affecting the Raiders, and Penrith really applying the pressure now. Only unforced errors are keeping them out.
It's a quick scrum feed from Alexander. He goes to Carter. Carter 10 metres out across Furley dummies. He tries to slice through. He's just to the right of the uprights, tackled by Daly. 10 out. They go left side. Fittler. Where's the runner? It comes from Barwick. The pass back to Carter. Carter dummies for the line. No one on the inside. He's tackled by Clyde. Great tackle. A metre short of the line. Right side Alexander. The pass to Simmons. Simmons barrels for the line. He's half a metre short. Desperation stuff from both sides. A metre out. The Penrith side, Alexander dummies. Where's the support? To Vandervoort. Vandervoort, the head down. He's close. He's a centimetre out. Penrith on the attack. It goes to Simmons, to Alexander, open side. Left to Gaia in a big hole. The pass over the top to Izzard. They must score. They're in. No, they've dropped the ball. He's got the ball. Daly's picked it up. He's dropped the ball.
Daly took it off him.
He had 2 players outside and he didn't give it. He came back on the inside. He came back on the inside, and they're appealing for a stolen ball. Canberra counter-attack. Oh, he had to be in then. On the quarter line, it's the Raiders. They counter-attack, and it's just this time that the Raiders could really make that count. They could come up with a paralysing burst down the right flank and end this match. Here goes Meninga on the quarter line. The pass on the inside to Belcher. Belcher starting again, tackled. 28 metres out from the Raiders line. Coyne dummy half, he runs. He's only at 3/4 pace too. He could hardly work up a gallop after that great defensive exchange. Then they needed all the defence. The kick right side from Stewart. It angles towards the right touchline, and Barwick watches it go into touch. 13 metres out from the Penrith line. Oh, opportunity lost.
Oh, great defence from Canberra there. Great defence. Pressure really being applied and turned up by Penrith, but they unforced errors didn't allow them to capitalise on it. Superb bit of play by Laurie Daly in stealing that ball.
Unbelievable, because Brad Izzard was in for all money. He was over the line basically, and he was taken in a high tackle, a high-ish tackle, which got his arm. The ball went free, and I don't think it was a stolen ball. He just hit him in the arm, and that jolted the ball free.
Well, Penrith have to wind up again from deep inside their own half. Barwick tackled Alexander to Vandervoort. Vandervoort up the centre, he makes 6 metres. 20 from the halfway line, 16 minutes to go. The Raiders lead by 12 points to 6. Gaia now up the centre. He's 10 from the halfway line. The Raiders, well, they've got to lift themselves now. This is a big effort. They're calling on it from deep within. That goes left side. Cartwright, the ball to the inside to Fittler. He was almost through. He was ankle tap. Good tackle by Fritz, who was actually around his hip, and Fittler hit the other hip on the way down, and he's injured. A couple of metres from the halfway line, right and open side to Alexander. Clear space in front, and he kicks for it. It bounces 11 out. They're chasing through on this. Alexander chasing through on Wood. Wood takes it. Alexander has him covered. He misses him. Wood goes 10, 15, 20, 22, 25, 32 metres out from his own line. Great
counter-attack.
Matthew Wood, 20 from the halfway line to play the ball. Todd now the pass back on the inside to Daly. Oh, the Douglas, he's passed it back to an offside player. Alexander, he releases it to Walker. Numbers out wide. Here goes Carter. Will he give it to Izzard? He does. Izzard into a hole again. He claps on the pace. He's over the quarter line. Tackled 16 metres out from the line. 10 in from touch left side. They've got to go right side. It goes to Walker. Walker 8 metres out. Where's the support for Walker if he wanted to let it go? They can hardly lift the legs, the Panthers. They've got to. 8 metres out. Simmons wants to go blind, but he goes open side to Paul Clark. He stands in the tackle, and he's held up, put to ground now. 6 metres out in front of the post. The Panthers surge for the line. The long pass from Alexander. It goes out to Mackay. Mackay's almost in. He's pushed back. He's only half a metre short. Half a metre short. He gets up to play the ball. It goes to Guy. Guy for the line himself. He's tackled a metre short. It's the last tackle. The last tackle. Right side it goes to Alexander. The low grubber kick. They're chasing through on it. They dive. It's over the dead ball line. It was pushed dead by Meninga. A restart from the centre of the goal line. And the Panthers can mount another raid.
Yes, and something has to crack. The Canberra Raiders have been under enormous pressure, and they put themselves under pressure. Laurie Daly throwing it to Penrith on the first tackle, basically the second tackle, after Wood had made that great incursion, the counter-attack. They put themselves under enormous pressure, Canberra, and Penrith, with the breeze, with the guile, and with the attacking flair, are going to come at them again.
It's a high dropout, not a good one, and it's taken easily by Guy just outside the quarter line. He bumps out of the tackle of Daly, starts again across field, dummies, holds up the pass. He might lose it if he goes to ground. He doesn't. He holds onto it. He was tackled desperately there by Todd. Only 20 metres out. They go right and open side. That goes on to Clark. Clark again barrelling forward. Tackled 12 outs. Another raid. They're under siege, the Raiders. Here's Alexander dummying left, right and centre to Fittler on the inside. He's held up and pushed back 11 out from the line. 12-6 the Raiders. The Panthers need a score here. Simmons goes to blind side to Cartwright. Cartwright palming out of tackles. He's only 6 out, held up. Good tackle, Bell. Dummy half Simmons. It goes to Alexander. The long pass goes to Barwick. Barwick for the line. He's close. He's pulled down. Oh, tremendous defence from Big Mel. Half a metre out, has not gone yet. Carter goes back the other way, he might go through. It's a handover. 2 metres out from the line.
What a magnificent tackle by Mal Meninga. That's why he's captain. That's why he's inspiration. Centimetres from the line. Magnificent.
And what about the commitment and courage of this Canberra side? They keep coming back. Penrith are all over them at the moment.
18 metres out from their own line, the Raiders sucking in the deep breath at the moment, trying to keep the concentration on. Now they've got the ball. Stewart to Barnhill. It's Fritz rather, and he's a metre from the quarter line. Tackled in centre field. Gets up to play the ball now. It goes now to Barnhill. One off the ruck left side. 15 in from touch. The cover comes across. 12 and a half minutes to go in the grand final of 91. It's Canberra 12, Penrith 6. 12 to go. Daly with the ball, 32 out. He's been a passenger for much of the game, but he's made some telling tackles and he's passed the ball. He plays the ball now. It hit a Penrith player. An inconsistency again. Not given the kick downfield from Stewart. Not a good one. It bounces towards Mackay. He takes it on the chest. 20 from the halfway line. Moves back towards Clyde. Gets on the outside of Clyde. Straightens the attack, but can't break through. Tackled 8 short of the halfway line by Daly and also Coyne. Penrith with the football. One off the ruck. Here goes Smith. Smith, if he can go through, he's got clear space in front, but he can't. He's held up and put to the ground. Finally by Bell. A metre inside Raiders country. Here go the Panthers again. Simmons now 12 metres inside the Raiders half. Dummy half is Walker. Carter's left an open side. Long pass out to Fittler. He's got support out wide while they all overran him. And now Alexander swoops around and support the inside pass to Barwick. He can't break through. Tackled by Daly. Gets the pass back to Guy. Quick pass to Fittler. Fittler up the centre to the quarter line. The pass goes away to Izzard. Izzard screaming for the line. He's underneath the post. The Raiders have conceded a try. The Panthers are in. And scores are going to be level after this kick for goal. Oh, tremendous attacking raid from the Panthers. Mark Dyer, the looping pass. Fittler scything through up the centre. He beat one tackle. He went on the outside again. He flicked the pass up, brilliantly taken to the left hand by Izzard. And he powered away into clear country. And they told him to go round in front of the posts. And Alexander now with a conversion attempt. 10 metres out from goal. 10 minutes to go. It's going to be 12 all.
Well, it was only a matter of time before Canberra cracked under that sustained pressure, but it was a brilliant try that did it, and it kept Penrith right back in the fight. What price a draw?
Here's Alexander.
Alexander to level the scores from right in front. The ball tilted towards goal. He moves in. It's there. It's 12 all. 12 all with 10 minutes to go in the match.
And there's two replacements in the Canberra outfit. Barnhill's off, so too is Coyne. Lazarus is on, and I'm just looking for the other replacement at the moment. There's another player on. But what a magnificent try. Just beautiful hands from Geyer, Fittler, and ultimately it went to Izzard, who scored the try. Great play, Penrith, 12 apiece.
It's the kick-off by Meninga. And downfield taken by Smith on the goal line. Long striding back to the quarter line, and he's to the quarter line. He's over the quarter line. Fritz and Lazarus have him. And they rope him in. Todd made the tackle as well. Simmons dummy half, the pass to Clark, and now they can sense that the Raiders are vulnerable. 20 from the halfway line. What a game. What a grand final. Here goes Walker. Walker at full tilt. He beat the tackle of Clyde. That's unusual. And Fritz had to take him on the inside. 10 from the halfway line, Penrith. Alexander, they got into confusion there, and Guy had to take the ball, and he's going to be pushed back a couple from the halfway line. Good tackle there.
Tackle by Michael Twigg, who's the other replacement.
Onto the field. Who was that other placement, Mark?
The Michael Twigg and also Glenn Lazarus came back on the paddock.
Lazarus onto the field. Here's the inside ball from Alexander trying to set up his art. It's the last tackle, Penrith on the halfway line. The score's 12-all. Alexander, a low grubber kick for the left touchline. Belcher saw it coming. He's going to pick it up. No, he lets it go into touch, Belcher. He had the option of trying to take it and perhaps moving back to the quarter line, but he elected to let it go into touch. 13 out from his own line. 8.5 minutes to go. 12-all the score. Frank Stanton yesterday afternoon. Extra time, he said. Well, will it be? 8.5 minutes to go, and the ball into the scrum, the Raiders now. 13 out from their own line. Here's Twigg, and Twigg the pass immediately to the winger, and Martin is tackled 18 metres out from his own line. One off the ruck now, Clyde steps off the left foot and straightens, goes strong and hard. Tackled 23 metres out from the Raiders line. It's 12-all. The Raiders working out of their own territory through Todd. Todd into Van der Voort. Simmons, a good low tackle. 32 out. Daly now. Well, trying to run. He holds up the pass. He's under at three-quarter pace, but they still have trouble putting him into the deck. Fittler it was who had to make the tackle. 5 from the halfway line. Big line for the Raiders. Stewart, the long pass to the right. Twigg with the kick. It's a low kick, not that good. Barwick can take it on the bounce outside his own quarter line. They come to him. Meninga's in front. So too Twigg. Can he beat Twigg? Twigg takes him at a ball and all. High tackle, they thought. And Barwick's slow to get up, but he'd want to be quick. 10 from the halfway line. Can they punch through here? The Raiders looking a bit suspect in defence. Here goes Mackay. Scouting across field. He can't find the opening. A metre from halfway. Simmons goes left side. Here goes Van der Voort. Straight up the centre. Again they clutch high, but it's the low tackle of Fritz. That's the decisive one. 3 metres inside Raider country. Simmons goes left side to Alexander. He holds up the pass to Cartwright. Cartwright can't beat Twigg. Another good ball and all tackle. 10 metres inside Raider country. It's 12-all, 7 minutes to go. Clark up the centre. He's only 32 metres out. It's the last tackle.
Field goal.
Field goal, long range from Alexander. He tries it now. It's heading towards goal, is it? It's there! Alexander has kicked a field goal from 38 metres out from goal. It was a low, flat, horrible-looking one. But listen to the Panther fans. It's 13 points to 12, and Meninga starts play immediately. Geyer dives on the ball. He took it and then dived on the deck as he made more of it than it was, I think. He's tackled now 26 metres out by Daly, and the Panthers for the first time in the match. Well, or the second time in the match they go ahead. Of course, they were ahead 6-0. They're 28 metres out from their own line, and they've snuck ahead with 6 minutes to go, the Panthers. Here goes Walker. Walker 20 metres from the halfway line. Now it's grit your teeth stuff from the Panthers. They've got to hang on to the ball. The Raiders need it. The Panthers go left side. On it goes to Izzard. Izzard's cut through. He comes to Stewart. Stewart took him high. It's a penalty. Stewart took him high. It's a penalty. Might even have been offside out there, but the ball ended up in the arms of Martin, who was skipping down the right flank. Mark Levy.
It was offside because Ricky Stewart knocked it forward. He got his hand to it, and then Martin was offside in picking up the ball, so it is the penalty, the right decision made by the referee.
Offside. Well, it could have been a high tackle too from this angle. It looked high. He went down very quickly indeed, thumped into the deck, but the ball had gone forward. And now the Panthers looking for the killer blow with 5 minutes and 13 seconds to go. They lead by 13 points to 12. It's consolidation time. And another ball's on the field as Clark's tackled on the quarter line. They go right and open side to Alexander. Delivers to Mackay. Mackay full of running outside the quarter line. Beats one tackle. Tries to palm away from Bell, who comes again and takes him. Oh, desperate stuff. Only 18 metres out the Panthers. Here goes Walker. Straight and hard up the centre again. Stands in the tackle. Tries to turn and deliver. He's still going. They put him into the deck. They're calling on everything. He's slow to play the ball. He was hurt in that exchange. Only 9 metres out, left and open side to Alexander. To Fittler. Fittler off the left foot. Only 10 out. Starts again to Vandervoort. Vandervoort skirting for the opening. He ducked under the tackle of Belcher, but he was reeled in by Daly. Only 10 out. They go the open side. Heading for the line. Here's Barwick. Flips up the pass. It goes under Vandervoort. He's only half a metre out. It's the last tackle. Who wants it? It's a low grubber kick. It's on the ground. They dive for the ball over the line, but it's a restart from the centre of the goal line as the Raiders were back there and Meninga, I think, diving on the ball to save it again. And we've got 4 minutes to go. 4 minutes to go. It's Penrith 13, Canberra 12. The dropout. It's a low dropout. They might regather. Whipping through his Geyer. He sends the pass out and into the corner, I think, no. It's a try! It's a try, yes!
Royce Simmons.
Royce Simmons! God, it took the restart at full tilt! And listen to the crowd! He turned around and playing left winger Royce Simmons for the corner. The cover came across. He beat Belcher to score. And the grand final is the Penrith Panthers, 17 points to 12 with a kick to come.
Well, Royce has really had a good send-off here. 2 tries and looking like a grand final victory as well. Canberra taking a risk there, trying to get themselves back in the game. A short kick-off, the bounce beat them. Royce did the rest.
Well, they had to, Frank, didn't they? They were running out of time with about 3.5 minutes to go. They had to get possession of the football. They were going to give Penrith 6, and no doubt Greg Alexander experience, he just would have put it into the in goal, and they would have had to drop it out again. They tried something, it didn't come off for them, but they have been a champion team, and now Penrith, Mark Geyer took that magnificently, and Royce Simmons backed up. He's gone in for his second try. What a send-off for him.
And now the kick from Alexander from 5 in from touch left side. 2 out from the quarter line. He takes his time. This to really seal it, otherwise they're going to have to take another alternative kick-off. Alexander, can he make it secure? 17-12, this for the grand final. He moves in Alexander. He strikes it towards goal. It's high. He's kicked the goal! And the Panthers are home in 1991. They lead 19-12 with 2.5 minutes to go. 1.5 minutes to go. Thank you, Brian Burke. The kickoff. It's been knocked on from the restart, and it's into the arms of the Raiders again. They can't score twice in a minute, surely. It goes right side to Todd, out to Clyde, the pass to Twig. Twig 32 metres out from the line of Meninga. Meninga bumping and weaving the pass back to Clyde. The pass to Big Lazarus. He stops and starts again. He's over the quarter line. He's tackled on the quarter line. On the quarter line.
Penalty.
It's a penalty, and they tap it.
Taking it again.
11 out. 11 out from the line. Daly taps it on the foot. He runs. He's 10 metres out to Twig. Twig dumped into the deck. 9 out from the Panthers line. It goes to Walters. Left side to Daly. The pass goes out there to Gale, and Gale held up, pushed back. 10 out from the line. 1 minute to go. They can't score twice, surely, the Raiders here. They're into the deck. And now running from dummy half as Walters on to Todd. The pass is in touch.
Touched by Penrith.
Touched by Penrith. Time just about up. 5 metres out from the Penrith line. They lead 19-12. And now players halted. Players halted. A touch judge onto the field. That is an anticlimax. The siren about to go. The scrum goes down 5 metres out. The ball into the scrum. It's fed by Gale. Out to Twig. Twig goes out to Meninga. Belcher runs off him. The pass goes out to Bell. Bell has Martin outside. It goes to Martin. He can't make it to the corner. The covers swarmed across to take him. Only 8 metres out. It's all over. They still fling the ball in the air. It's been played forward by Clyde. He desperately tries to throw it up, but it's all over. The Panthers celebrate their first grand final win. Ecstasy from the Panther supporters, from all the Penrith side. They hug each other at the northern end of the ground in front of the goalposts. They've won the grand final by 19 points to 12.
So the Panthers secured their maiden first grade premiership with a 19-12 victory over the Raiders to send out veteran hooker and former captain Royce Simmons on a winning note. Bradley Clyde was awarded the Clive Churchill Medal despite being on the losing side, and although their player roster was decimated because of salary cap breaches and mounting debts, it took the Raiders just 3 years to return to rugby league's biggest stage when they won the 1994 premiership. The Panthers were expected to dominate the competition in the early 1990s following their triumph, but the heart of the club was ripped out the following year when Ben Alexander, the younger brother of premiership captain Greg, died in a car crash. It took the Panthers until 1997's Super League season to once again make the playoffs, while 2003 saw the men from the foot of the mountains add the club's second premiership when they defeated the star-studded Sydney Roosters. In 1992, another team won their first ever premiership with Brisbane reigning supreme, and that will be our focus in the next edition of Finals Flashback. Bye for now.